Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Diablo 3. We're playing with a Necromancer in Act 5. With Urzael dead, Adria is our next objective. Narnach has joined us. Something about wanted to make sure we got all the information before we killed her. Which I agree is fine.
Dead angels now rest with the human corpses on the roads of Westmarch. But more will die, unless we know where Malthael is hiding. I cannot imagine how Adria came by this knowledge. But somewhere in the Blood Marsh, our answers await.
We hid the Black Soul Stone in the deepest part of the Nephilim ruins near here. We thought it would be safe, but Malthael found it all the same.
That's it. Just a quick double check. We got 500,000 HP without the bonus. Let's see how much extra life we've gotten by now. Just to gauge how important the bonus is. Okay, 727. We basically still get 50% increased life. Despite having it in on quite some armor pieces, right? Or did we just lose all of our life bonuses? There's 11% there.
This is the entrance to the tomb, but someone's collapsed it.
What a surprise.
It looks like we'll have to find another way into the ruins. What was that?
Something is coming.
Oh those. Lots and lots of buggets. Suppose those are swamp goblins. Kind of look like swamp goblins.
This was just one entrance to the city. There are guide stones littered across the blood marsh that will lead us to the main one. The guide stones are useless to most, but will reveal the correct path to a Nephilim such as yourself.
Convenient. Very convenient.
I will find her.
Remember to get the information we need before you...
I know.
Well, that's not very reassuring.
Hey. Let's have a look. They got the catapult mechanic. You stand on them, then you get thrown about. Oh, something here is arcane. Is that little bucket? And that one, let's see. Vortex, Health Link, Teleporter and Arcane. Lovely. Upside of a Health Link is of course that all you have to do is just attack the nearest. And eventually he'll take down the rest. And once one goes down, the rest soon follows. So, once again, we just wander around, more or less aimlessly, looking for the way forward.
Soon, even Westmarch will be pulled beneath the marsh, just as Corvus before it.
Do not fear the end.
Hey, Adria left a satchel behind.
The first time I saw a witch, she burned. Father took me to the town square to see it. Look, he said, that is the face of evil. But she looked like any other woman, and burned like anything else. Then the flames engulfed her. Her eyes found mine, and she laughed. My father could never understand. He was born into privilege and wealth, and he spent every moment of his life trying to protect it. I was his flesh and blood, but he cared more about the names in books and the faces of the paintings on the walls than his living daughter.
So, the story of Adria.
Do you know what fear is? The fear of who you are. The fear of what your own blood would do if they knew what you were. No, you could never understand it. People look to you as a savior. Have you ever thought about the lives you've taken? They were fathers, lovers, daughters.
And there's something pointing over there. Does that happen to relate to the Shrieking Terror subquest thing that we wandered into? What? There's the researcher.
What? I'm not dead? You have my thanks. But a word of warning. These animals carry a plague and must be killed before it spreads.
Uh-oh.
No.
To create a potion to fight it, I cut one of them open and took its innards. They smell it on me. That's why they're attacking.
So. Nice massacre bonus that we will be building here. Full complement of minions of all sorts.
Take this as my way of saying thanks. I must get back to my work.
Okay. That was rather convenient. Hey. The way forward lies open.
This is one of the guide stones, but nothing happens when I approach it.
I will try.
There are 4 entrances to the Nephilim city, each one etched with a sigil. Only the correct one marks the true entrance to the tomb, however. When you activate these stones, one of the wrong sigils disappears.
Then all we need to do is eliminate 2 of the remaining sigils.
Yay! Irina understands the game mechanics. Such a smart enchantress. Ooh, hello there, tusked bogans. Halfling reflects a vortex, a desecrator. I think I want to be out of there. Also, I think there's a yellow in there as well. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's take a small step backwards. Okay, cold vortex. Not entirely healthy. Let's just build up our armies and just fight a war of attrition over here, shall we? And most importantly, let's not get pulled in too much. Frozen Pulse, Shielding, Arcane, and Waller. Okay, let's just keep our teleports for getting out of trouble. Use Navigation and just simple walking for staying out of trouble. Just whatever is closest to me is the thing that will get attacked. Might be useful to just step back a little bit. Okay, the health link is nearly gone. Exactly. Next target, the big yellow dude. Also gone. Okay. Oh, that was rather fun. Also seems like we're walking about something that looks interesting. And there's passages to Corvus, which of course, some of which are real, some of which are not. You can take your chance on just walking into one of the fake entrances.
All must serve the cycle.
But if it's not the real one, then it's just gonna be a dead-end dungeon. Ooh, a Bogan Tower. Putrid Hovel. That sounds like a small little side effect filled with bogans. Let's have a look. I think these were a bit on the smaller side, a bit more focused. Nice to just walk through. Hello there, Luca. Light Beast.
I'm afraid not.
Okay, lots of revives here. And simply lots of corpses to absorb. I think he walked this way. Yes, you. I think this is our first Blight Beast. They shake off these maggots. Wasn't that bad. We got some nice rewards here. Anything on the other side? Just a small room with another treasure chest. Excellent. Okay. And it's, as I mentioned, small enough to just walk out of. And the quest continues. The quest for... Oh look, shiny.
I'm afraid not. The night embraces you.
So they got lots of bogans. We revive lots of bogans. Oh wow, what is that? The Wicker Man. Didn't Iron Maiden have a song about that? About the Wicker Man? The question is, can we teleport out? Oh yes. Seems like teleportation just got better the further we got into the game. Though you still have to be careful not to stub your toe accidentally. Let's see. I think that was the fake one.
Adria, to think I ever considered learning magic from her.
Okay, then probably... Oh, waypoint. Convenient.
Strange magic radiates from these foes.
Reflect damage, poison enchanted, nightmarish and frozen. Let's not get frozen. Oh, more frozen. Oh, one by one, they fall down. Okay, got 10 minutes of bonus, that is nice, because it's quite a bit of a buffer. Okay, so we are not quite sure if this is the real exit or not.
Who knows whether this is the right passage or not?
Exactly, so no, going for the exits at this point, not really all that useful. Thing we want to go for is the marker stones, which of course are not indicated on the map.
That is not possible. But yeah, so I'll just summon an army to deal with the mobs while I
channel this. Okay.
Another guide stone will help me find the correct passage. I understand so much more now.
Okay, so one point was there, one point was much earlier. See if the other one is maybe a bit more to the bottom of the map. I do like the catapults. It can be used to actually catapult enemies around just as much as that it works for your own troops. Or for yourself. And while looking, we might actually find another event of sorts.
The grave beckons.
So. Got an interesting mix of boggans and skeletons. Fighting other boggans. Hey, look at that. We have eliminated the ways not to go.
The correct passage.
Okay, and that is the way forward. Ooh, Boggan a Warren. That seems like another fun little diversion. Sketch the order. Let's just slow it down. Get lots of minions. Boom. Gotcha. Okay, anything else that's here? It's just space for him to run past. I think that's it. Just some regular mobs, a trapper in there. And that's it.
No.
Oh no! The exit, it's trapped. Still, we made it out. That's good. Okay, passage to Corvus. And suddenly we are back in a...
Your valor inspired me.
It's not much of a cave, it is all built and constructed. The music here is rather solemn. Would also be very appropriate for, if the setting were a cathedral of sorts.
That is not possible.
Hello there, Flashing. So, a large army of
That is a powerful foe over there.
summoned foes versus my army of reanimated undead. Oh, there's fire chains in there. Plagued, knockback and electrified. So the plague we can more or less just sustain through, which is rather nice, I must admit.
Why do you suppose the Nephilim desired secrecy so much?
No.
Why did they desire secrecy? Because they were being hunted, right?
The night embraces you.
Okay, there's a door here. Question is, what's behind the door? Got 16 minutes worth of duration, and I suspect it's gonna only go up because there's a lot of little minions in this area.
Your death nears.
So many corpses. Lovely. So it seems like we're breaking outside of the lovely building place and into something that looks more like a bone pit of sorts. Okay. Scarab cocoons.
That is not possible.
Okay, hello there, Vosk, the vengeful tyrant. Don't look that scary. And he's dead. Tyrant no more. Also, there is more dungeon over here.
The night embraces you.
Okay. I do remember this area as being filled with dead ends and false leads. So there might be some backtracking. Might be that we get lucky on the first try.
Consumes you.
As I mentioned. Dead ends. We found one of them. I can't teleport through this, that's unfortunate. Music has changed. From the very triumphant music to something that's more like battle drums. And back to silence. Okay, full army revives, so that means we can just swallow up all their corpses. Blah, words, they are difficult. Okay, blood golems. There's quite a couple more golems here than I could summon, which is of course unfortunate. It would be funny to have an army of golems, just like I have an army of skeletons and revives. Though I suppose that would be a little unbalanced. Let's keep looking for the way forward. Also, things appear behind us and stuff appears before us.
Having trouble thinking?
Okay, it's interesting. Your minions' attacks don't actually count for as activity in this regard. You have to keep actively channeling something, otherwise you lose your kill streak bonus. But if you're actively trying to, you know, summon those bone mages that are only half mages, that's quite an achievement, or quite a challenge. Okay, let's just get out of there. You.
My bag is full.
Wow, full bag. That hasn't happened in a while.
I am returning to town.
Yeah, you go deal with the chickens. Let's have a quick glance. Again, just a small upgrade. Not worth losing the damage reduction. At some point, we'll probably see something that is just strictly better. Until then, though, we'll just stick with what we've got. Okay, everything here we can salvage, and Hedrick wants to speak with us.
Bryson made a mistake, but he can still learn.
He's a fool, and fools end up dead around here.
Ah, so it is a personal matter.
What are you talking about?
You cannot control your emotions, so you drive people away instead. It seems to be effective, if misguided.
You keep that nonsense to yourself, or I might forget how much I owe you.
Touchy subject. Well. Let's push forward. Yellow, illusionist, waller, mortar, electrified. Okay, let's just get a decent army up, and I think I want to be out of there anyway. As it was getting a little heated. One of the upsides of Revive being an AoE is that you don't actually have to be in the area or see the specific corpses. Just cast it and it will just revive 10 minions for you. Dead end, but filled with flesh gorges. You will make a lovely set of revives for me. Hey! Waypoint and a marker forward. Runes of Corvus.
Wait here, Laura.
You're going to kill her, aren't you?
Still you ask these questions.
We are all counting on you.
Find the entrance to the Great Hall. Like this. Just lots of enemies that just keep pouring in after you've passed. Effectively barring your retreat if you don't have a teleport of sorts for overcoming large groups of enemies.
The grave beckons.
Yeah, this particular build is definitely not very well suited for maintaining kill streaks. If, you know, your minions, permanent and temporary both, don't actually count for maintaining your kill counter. I wonder if it's a bug, an oversight, or if it's actually
Do not fear the end.
a deliberate choice. And another dead end. Hey. Oh, if we find all the ways we don't have to go, eventually the only way left will be the way we do have to go. And once again, we get overwhelmed by forces from all sides.
This world can abide you no longer.
Luckily, I have overwhelming forces as well.
Disorient!
23 minutes. I might actually at some point get that full hour of duration.
All must serve the cycle.
Just so many corpses. It's lovely. Also, both the pack size of the monsters is high, but it's also just the density. The distance between packs is also much smaller than it has been in some of the earlier areas and just lower levels. Not quite sure if it's level or area specific. Okay, take a step down to another level. And absorb more corpses. And this was not the way. But maybe the way was next to us. So teleporting your skeletons in is a rather useful thing to do. Revives can always be obtained if you're being massively outnumbered like here. Oh man.
You will make a fine
So
corpse.
setting skeletons upon the strongest foe here is also just an easy way of just making sure they stay up as long as possible. Especially in situations like this where you're surrounded. "26.
You will make a fine corpse.
So setting it upon the shaman seems useful. If we were not this powerful relative to the content, all the enemies popping up behind me and continuously trying to surround me would definitely have me worried. For example, if this were Torment 2, then this would be scary. That said, right now I still feel like I'm mostly in control. There's quite some room for error, but yeah. If I do insanely stupid things, then of course, well, death will come for me.
The grave beckons. Your death nears.
Consume all corpses.
We must face another
Half an hour. Oh, and there are blue stuff. At least I see the damage reflection. That's pretty obvious.
Weakness
Illusionist,
consumes you.
Plagued, and Arcane is the rest. Okay, let's just keep an eye out for those purple beamies. And they are gone. Thing to look out for is the Death Breath. That is the mark of a pack having been defeated.
Your death nears. My master would take pride in this.
So Paragon levels, they come pretty frequently. I must admit, I'm playing through the campaign like this, basically gaining Paragon levels while leveling through basically the entirety of Act 5. It's nice.
I have uncovered and obscured an ancient tome in whose pages is recorded an impossible tale. The secret history of a race called the Nephilim, gods by another name, and their ruined civilization in the West. If this is true, how could all signs of these Nephilim be lost, but for the record of this single tome?
Where have all the Nephilim gone? I think I might have... There might have been more of those lore tomes, but I simply missed them.
Adria make to summon so many minions of blood.
Let's
Hello.
see where you've been hiding, Malthael.
Adria.
The angels will never suffer us to live. They cannot accept the fact that we may choose our own path. At least demons are not so rigid in their beliefs.
Slightly dramatical overreaction to me arriving here.
Demons and angels will not kill you. I will.
Adria can be a very tough fight. Depends a little bit on how powerful you are.
Diablo sent me a vision. He had returned, and you were the one who freed him.
No.
He always finds a way. My master will return.
But
In this case,
you will not.
trip over those blood maggots that leave behind a pool of blood. Eventually they start stacking. If you're a meleeer, Adria fight can be tough. First time I played through Act 5 was of course with a Crusader, because the Crusader got added together.
Suspected.
This was a tough fight.
Diablo will return. I have done what I can to ensure it. He always finds a way. In your heart of hearts, you know this.
I do like the names of the achievements. Which, please? Laura, hello.
Adria had conjured an image of Pandemonium before I interrupted her.
She was searching for Malthael, so he must be there.
talk to Tyrael.
I need to go back.
Pandemonium. It's been a while since we were there. Diablo 2 Act 4 was the last time. The Pandemonium Fortress.
Malthael seems to be in Pandemonium.
No doubt he has gone to the fortress. Malthael can hold out there until the end of time. He is forcing us to come to him.
And what does that entail?
The only way to Pandemonium is through the high heavens. Let us leave at once.
Yay. Couple more lore bits. Let's have a look.
Lara! Peter!
Who are you calling to?
Oh, it's my children. They're out playing a game, but I'll find them soon enough. Where are you going? I have some good news.
Good news?
I mentioned what you did to some guards I met. You could get a commendation or something when this is all over.
Oh, that's fantastic. I now know death better than I know the shape of my hand or my own sword. Hendel charged into battle at my side. I'd known him since I enlisted, but when I looked at him that night, I had a vision. I saw the faces of the men he had killed, and I saw that he would not live to see the morning.
Okay.
According to the records, King Rakus had a strong jaw, hair as black as night, and wore gleaming armor over his muscular... Sorry, what was I talking about?
Oh, there's more lore.
Every time Westmarch is invaded, a hero appears to save it. History is much easier to write with a strong protagonist. Rakus and his sons built much of Westmarch during their time. The ruins and the marshes outside the city may be their work too. Of course, whenever I ask the Crown for gold to further my excavations, there's always a more pressing matter at hand.
Okay. Right, done with her lore.
We can't start to rebuild until we know that the one who caused this devastation is dead.
I am doing my best to ensure that.
I hope so.
Are you telling me to work harder?
See? Aren't you happy I didn't tell you beforehand that Adria would turn into a hideous monster?
No.
You always seem so calm. I thought you'd enjoy a surprise or two. Petty details would have just served to distract you. So, now it's on to Pandemonium. You'll see a world only a few humans have laid eyes on before.
I am not there for sightseeing.
Ah, the beauty of life is lost on you, isn't it?
Templar.
When I was forced to admit my beliefs were wrong, I was lost. I was afraid I would always feel that way. But instead, a sense of calmness has come over me. I'm no longer at war with myself.
And you need never be again. Embrace that peace, and let it guide you always.
You don't have anything to say? Ah, nice. And Hedrix is also quiet. Nice. Then the next step on our journey will be to go through the Pandemonium gates. But I think that's going to be a fitting way to start next episode. So for now, I'm going to thank you very much for watching. And hope to see you again next time when we head to the Pandemonium Fortress. Bye bye.